What is the worst thing you have found in your parents' closet? When I was little I was in my parents' room and I wasn't supposed to be, but when they came in there I hid in their closet. I found a pair of pink fuzzy handcuffs and thought they would be great to play a game with my brothers, like a cops and robbers game. Needless to say my brother ended up stuck in the handcuffs and we had to get my mom to help get them off, and they disappeared after that. Didn't realize until I was much older what those were used for. I found a huge rubber dildo, and my mom saw me finding it. I was probably about 8 or 9. We were going through some old luggage and she must have forgotten it was there. I asked what it was, and she just said it was my dad's, and took it. For some time after that I thought my dad's penis was detachable. I found a cucumber sitting on my dad's nightstand one morning. Me as a little kid, why is there a cucumber in here? Mom, your dad thought he might like a healthy midnight snack. Me as an adult, went looking for Christmas presents. Found my grandpa's suicide letter. A few packages I ordered on Amazon that she claimed never arrived. What did you order? Main things I remember was a small husky plush that was meant as a birthday gift, a Ethernet cable and a new backpack for me. There were few other things she stole I can't remember, but yeah, I've cut my egg donor out of my life. After finding she left $2,000 in bills in my name and due to the age of them, I couldn't douche. I found my grandma's dildo when I was a kid. I didn't know what it was. I touched it and waved it around. Years later, when she'd guessed that I'd had sex for the first time, she waved a different dildo as she chased me around the house demanding details. She specifically yelled, "Was his dick like this? Huh, was it?" while laughing hysterically. I love her. My dog's Ash is about 4 years after they told me he ran away. Hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 lottery tickets. We were dirt poor. Dad earned more than I do as an adult, and I'm pushing into middle class, if not in it already, and we were still living poor as hell. Family found out where all the money would go. My mom hired a professional photographer to take photos of my brother's birth. Not newborn photos, but photos of him coming out of her. I found those photos. Christmas gifts from Santa. I didn't even realize it. I just thought they were gifts from my parents. And then my mom was like, "Oh, you saw them. There's no Santa." Like, way to go, mom. Me, my sister and a friend of ours went hunting around our parents' room. Found our mom's pink dildo. We didn't know what it was, so we took it to her to ask her. She told us it was part of a strawberry shortcake castle, but since we found it, she would not be getting the rest of the pieces as punishment for snooping around. We believed her. My dad was laughing his a off the entire time. A holiday themed porn movie on VHS. My friend and I decided it would be a good idea to watch it. Within moments of playing the tape, it was obvious to me that my parents had recorded over the tape their own movie. I shut it off as quickly as I could and immediately freaked out at what I saw. My friend, however, begged to watch the tape. I turned away and made her mute the sound. She gave me the play-by afterwards, though, and that's how I found out my parents were swingers. My buddy's parents taped over Camp Nowhere. His mom was taking to another couple in the room while giving his dad a handy. The dialogue went so: "I went to the carnival last night," and then he stopped the tape. We never found out what happened at the carnival, but it's not for lack of asking. Unbeknownst to me, my dad taped over my SNL Best of Chris Farley VHS. My best bud found it in their closet, and we were stoked to watch it. It was my dad banging my stepmom. By the time I realized what I was watching and leaping for the eject button, my dad nutted and said, "It's so good, but never lasts." This line has haunted me for 20 years. As little children, maybe 4 or 5 years old, my sisters and I found a box with a bunch of lotions, chocolates, and other weird items. I now know it was my parents' naughty box. Amongst all of the items, there were a pair of purple rubber lips. My sisters and I proceeded to practice kissing with it, not knowing what it was. I remember, we pretended like we were kissing the Backstreet Boys. We put the lips back and forgot about it. Years later, when we were all teens, we were watching some documentary series and this episode was on sex toys. Those same exact purple lips came up on the screen. that I had kissed all those years ago as a child. Apparently, those purple rubber lips are used to simulate fellatio, like a mouth fleshlight. As soon as my sisters and I saw them come on the screen, we all simultaneously remembered what we did as children. I wanted to rip my mouth off of my body. Yes, I had unknowingly practiced kissing with my father's fleshlight. I was at my grandfather's house and he was giving my vinyls from his closet, and as he was pulling it down his flashlight fell to the floor and all he said was UHH don't look over there, and tried to move his leg in front of it, then kept pulling our vinyls and pretended like it never happened. He grows weed in his backyard. That's illegal where I live, so he's my cool grandparent. When I was in 8th grade we found out my dad smoked weed, me and the boys, and when he went on vacation sometime during 9th grade, we raided his shin, got like immaculately blazed, and so being super stoned, and in my semi-estranged father's house I started going through stuff, while my friends watched TV, found my dad's entire child porn stash, had no ability to handle that information at the time, and so I just closed the walk-in closet, hung out for a bit, and then kicked everyone out, cleaned up, and went back to my mom's. My stepmom came home before my dad, and found it, because I'd left everything out, and disheveled and just sort of like, noped out. In my hazed state, my dad's been in jail for the last 15 years. A box of letters and journals that were my mom's. A quick flip through revealed pretty quickly that not only was she aware her father was molesting my adopted sister, but that she was encouraging them to beat and abuse me. There was one passage that basically was her complaining that they hadn't killed me yet and that I had ruined her life by being born. Years later she sent me some of those letters in a box of school stuff she sent me when I was older. It's entirely possible that I had put them in the wrong box and she never looked in it. I don't think she knows I have them, and I've been long torn about what I should do with them. The abuse mostly came out and everyone knows about it. Not all of the things done to me are common knowledge and my mom plays innocent and pretends she didn't know anything was going on. It's likely my dad will die first as they're in their 80s, and he has Lewy body dementia. If he does die first, I'm sharing the letters with the sisters. They want someone to care for her. I want her put in the worst senior care facility in existence with 4 blank walls, 0 visitors, and a tube jammed in, to keep her alive and miserable forever. Thong underwear for men that were shaped like toucans and elephants. I'll let you imagine what part of the body went into the nose and trunk of those animals. My dumbest thought they were masks, and I put them in my face. I've known I was kinky since I was about 16. I didn't engage in anything till I was 18, but I read a lot of erotic fanfiction and had a lot of research on stuff. Anyways, I was looking for something in my parents' small walk-in closet. I found leather riding crop, metal chain leash and collar, erotic sex kit. I also had the unfortunate realization that the foam cushions my mom used to give me when I was sick, stiff so you can sleep more upright, were actually sex position cushions. Black mold. The closet was near the bathroom, and I felt slightly ill every time I visited, plus there was a musty smell there. Finally convinced them to have it looked into, and they had to tear out the walls and flooring to eradicate it as the tub was leaking into the subflooring under the carpet, and they had no idea. Happy ending. Everyone is more healthy now. Not my parents' closet, but once I found handcuffs to their bed railing, and like a dumb child I handcuffed myself to it. Even more effed up, my parents had to call 911 because they couldn't find the key, and then my parents had to go to court to prove that they were sex cuffs. Lol. When I moved out I grabbed a suitcase from their closet. Inside was 3 of the same lovers, stuffed animal I had grown up with. I also had another on in my bedroom. My parents had bought 4 of the same lovers and just cycled through them my entire life. When I walked downstairs and my dad saw them all in my hands, he said you were never supposed to know. My parents always told me to stay out of their closet, but I always thought it was fun to build forts out of blankets and pillows and whatnot. Found all sorts of shit there. Old pictures of my parents naked, dildos, and what I find most disgusting was syringes. I didn't know what they were at the time, but when I found them again at my dad's house around age 13 the memories came flooding back. Pretty effed up childhood. Not my parents, but my friends. We were digging through his parents' closet trying to find his airsoft gun that they had confiscated from us the day prior after accidentally breaking a window. Anyhow, we found a video camera and got super excited. Being in middle school in 2008 and the whole YouTube thing sounded really cool, so we decided to make a video of him shooting his airsoft gun, since his parents weren't home for an hour or two. Long story short, after a couple small takes we went in to review our newly recorded footage and instead were very unfortunate to find, you guessed it, his parents having sex in HD 720p, since the video closest to our capture was their latest capture and they had some kind of 10-minute record loop set up. We were immediately thrown into the video and audio of it all, since our heads were glued to the little flip screen ready to see the video of him shooting his airsoft gun that we just recorded and were sure we were going to be famous for. My dad's foreskin found in my mum's closet. He was circumcised more than 30 years ago. A human fetus, preserved in a tube. We knew about the fetus. We did not know it had been moved to the closet, hidden in the closet, to keep us children from playing with it or showing our friends. Even though parental closets are the stupidest places to hide anything ever, we did not play with it or show our friends, just stared with quiet curiosity and all the reverence we could muster. Somehow we all grew fond of this tiny creature, approximate 9.5 gestational weeks. Forever fetal. Within the family we referred in hushed tones to the baby, never bestowing any other name. Never knew if we had a formaldehyde baby brother or baby sister. It still looked a bit amphibious, you are probably wondering. So I'll tell you point, the baby was an incidental discovery during the autopsy of its mother. Mid-1960s. The pathologist promptly sealed the baby in a tube and brought home to show the children. Mrs. Pathologist was horrified. Of course the kids thought it was the coolest thing ever. The baby was moved to a better hiding place and forgotten by the children for many years, until after the death of old Mrs. Pathologist. The baby was rediscovered by her now middle-aged daughters while cleaning out their mother's home. So well, the baby came home with me, because what the heck else can you do with a 55+ years old test tube baby?